Sunday show presented to you by the Birdsall Law Firm. Before we get into the show, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This podcast is presented by the Birdsall Law Firm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk, located at 918 Poydras Street by the Superdome. Give them a call at 504-523-5413. If you or someone you know has been involved in an accident, Birdsall Law Firm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk, joined with Lido. Before we get in the show, happy Father's Day, especially to you, Lido.
Thank you, man.
Especially to Jarrett as well, and Ross, and all the other fathers out there watching this show right now. Man, it's been a week. I mean, oh my God, it's just nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy week, man. A lot of rumors, a lot of headlines, a lot of upcoming draft stuff, a lot of movement. Well, not a lot, but a couple moves made.
There's been a lot of movement, but I guess we got to talk about this again. But Windhorse comes out today and says that basically that Zion's relationship the headline is Zion Williamson has no relationship with Pelicans amid trade rumors. Lido, it's always I'm trying here, right? I'm trying to back Zion and think of the player and just think about what he does on the court. But man, you just keep hearing all these rumors. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and we've heard a couple things here and there. But is this a major concern? Where you hear Brian, and this isn't this is Brian Windhorse, so he knows his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a major concern?
For me, no.
No.
I really don't think that it matters at all. I don't care if. Now, I said this multiple times. I don't care if guys are friends. I don't care if they like each other. I just want them to get on the court and be successful and have a relationship there. Like if they're not hanging out outside the building, I don't give a shit. I don't care. Like they cannot be friends. They cannot even like each other. Matter of fact, I think the whole family thing, the whole family aspect, I think that shit is lame. Like you don't have to lie to me. They cannot like each other. I've seen multiple players win championships who were not friends.
I mean, it's a good point. You're right. They don't have to be best. Me and Five talk about this all the time. They don't have to be best friends. I don't expect to be best friends.
They don't even have to be friends.
Yeah, you don't have to be friends. You just have to respect each other. Now, that's another story. Now, do you think the players... This is a tough question to answer here, but do you think that players respect Zion?
I do think they respect him.
You do?
I do think they respect him. You can see video of Jose sitting on the bench, and he's like, I think Brandon was out, and he was like, we gonna be all right because we got this guy pointing to Zion. And you see, I think it was Zion's first game back in Brooklyn, and Trey was leading the cheers. Larry Nance is multiple times. Larry Nance was behind him in the 29 games that he played. Like he was kind of propping him up. Like this guy's the man. You see CJ in some of the post games after the game. When the reporters are going to Zion and they're doing their camaraderie thing.
Yeah,
I think first of all, you gotta respect his talent.
That's when he's playing, everyone likes him. Of course you like him. Everybody likes him because he's that ridiculously good. But he's rarely playing, and that's not a shot on him. It's just a fact.
That's the issue.
Just a fact.
Yeah, that's the issue. His time on the court or lack thereof is the issue. But as far as respect, is not many guys in the league who can do what he does. You got no choice but to respect him.
It's very few. And when he plays, and one of my friends always says, winning cures all. Well, when you're winning, everything's fine.
Yeah.
When we were on that stretch there late in December, I mean, when he was rattling off 29, 30, 35, 40, and just taking over games, everybody liked him. So I mean, I tend to agree with you, but he's had a rough month with all this stuff. I mean, it's got to be weighing on him. It's got to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been mess. I wouldn't, if I'm him, Side chicks go do what side chicks do. They go tweet and tell your business. And I think he's got to pick smarter. Uh, I'm not talking. I'm not. I'm talking about the baby mom. I'm talking about literally the girl Mariah. Like you just got to pick smarter. You got to you got to get them NDAs rolling out. Like
Have you blocked her yet or no?
Man, I haven't blocked her, man.
Really?
It's well, like, dog. At this point, it's funny to me. Like she basically is Windhorse talking about trade rumors, and she's like breaking down she's breaking down the film shit. Like I can't block, like I want to block it, but it's just so
it's
funny.
pure entertainment. It's just pure entertainment.
Yeah.
All right, so get in the next segment. We talked about this, and listen, we've been hard on David Griffin, but he promised changes, right? And so it started with Borrego. He brought in Borrego. I'm sorry, did not start Borrego. Sorry with Nelson. He got Nelson out, got Borrego in. Then a couple days ago, kind of all hell broke loose. That Zion Williamson, Gail Benson, and David Griffin were meeting in the Saints building. And that started this huge shitstorm of like, what are they meeting about? Well, what they were trying to privately meet to tell Zion that they were going to let go of Teaspoon. So that whole thing happened. No one really knew what was going on. Then the Teaspoon news came out. Were you surprised by the Teaspoon news?
I was. I didn't see that move coming. I thought that was definitely out of left field. You know, I don't know the logic behind it. You know, not much has been. You know, Griff kind of runs a tight-lipped organization, so you don't really get a lot of insight into what's happening unless Griff says so.
Right.
I thought it was an interesting move just because with everything swirling around Zion, everybody knows Spoon is Zion's, like Spoon is Zion's, like that's its that's his
shoulder
person.
Shoulder to cry on, maybe.
I mean, yeah, she's definitely.
He
got
talks
an
about
ear,
right. He talks about how he really struggled. You know, that year they was out and Teaspoon was there for. You know, I think that what article came out in one of those big magazines. But anyways, the article came out and Teaspoon was always there for Zion and really helped him mentally, kind of get back to who he was. And so that's a tough move for Griff, right? Because you got your franchise player in Zion Williamson, and then you let go basically of a person he really trusted.
What was Spoon's position? Like what was her?
She had definitely some type of title player development, which is something we need to dive into because listen, like it's no knock at Teaspoon, but like Zion didn't really develop. I mean, he really went on the court, but in your opinion, Lito, has Zion developed anything since he's been here?
It's hard to develop when you can't play. It's hard to develop when you can't spend your 10,000 hours on the floor perfecting your craft. So in my opinion, bro, like we going into year 5. It's still a lot about Zion I don't know. And to answer your question, has he developed? I don't know because to be honest, I don't know what he came in with. I don't know what the baseline is. I mean, we all know he's athletic and he's a great passer. You know, I would like to see him with a little bit more footwork around in a post when he does post. Maybe going right sometimes instead of, you know, spinning back to his left shoulder. So
I'd love to see if like just a mid range. I would just
you know what?
For a mid range.
But wait, even more than that, just a pump fake.
Yeah, and up and under something. I mean, you got Billy. Like I say this all the time. Listen, I'm not saying Billy's like incredible, but Billy Hernan-Gomez is one of the more talented centers.
MVP.
He's an MVP. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Please.
How dare me. But you can at least admit this, Lito, is that Billy Hernan-Gomez has incredible footwork. like around
He
the rim,
does.
good
Ask
touch,
Jokic.
up and unders. Yeah, like he goes off sometimes. I'm thinking like, how does Zion? Yeah, I'm not saying he's got develop all these post moves like Billy's got, but like that's a perfect guy to go to and be like, hey, can I work with you here? What can I learn? What can I get better at? Now, could you imagine Zion if he developed a 15, 17-foot jumper? And we've seen it a couple times last season. I think he had
He shot a couple fadeaways.
like a baseline fadeaway. I'm like, oh god, if he gets this, it's over. So, anyways, Weatherspoon joined the organization as a player development coach in 2019, and then got promoted to assistant coach. The big thing about this, though, Lito, is that this was not a Willie Green hire. So I think Schmidt had tweeted a couple days ago, but Schmidt said that Willie Green's finally getting to choose his staff. And so I think that Griffin and Willie are now finally working together on who he wants on the bench, which I think is I know is very important, especially for a young coach, to have guys, if you look down, that you trust and that and that's huge for Willie Green. And I'm glad he's got Borrego now. Teaspoon's out. Casey Hill's been demoted, and now he's starting to get his guys in.
I am. I'm sad to see Spoon go. I hate for anybody to lose a paycheck, but if there's a silver lining in the whole situation, it probably would be that I'm excited to see that Willie gets to choose who he wants to sit on his bench. It's exciting seeing that Willie Green is getting some autonomy in what year? This is year 3 for Willie.
Year 3, baby. It felt like 3 years in one season last year, as Christian Clark said. We're in year 3.
Listen, man, that's why I said I've been tough on Willie, but as I've said in a couple pods, you kind of got to cut him some slack because you got 29 games and you got 40 however many games and you got 25 points and 27 points, and if those guys aren't playing, like what scheme do you run? What offense are you planning to run out there? Like you don't know. And I think, as frustrating as it is for us, like imagine trying to coach that shit.
It's hard, man. Like it's really hard. And here's the thing: I think Willie Green's actually a good coach. He's got some things that he needs to be better at. Timeout management. I think some certain situations with adjustments, things like that. But those things can be fixed. Also, those things are also fixed with a good coaching staff. Like, let's call a spade, man. The coaching staff was not good last year. They just weren't good. It is what it is. Time in and time out, you just see them getting out coached. And they're now bringing in a former head coach in Borrego in the Hornets, and he specializes in X's and O's. What a lot of people don't know is that when he was under Pop in San Antonio, when he had Ginobili, Parker, and Duncan, that team, he was actually the defensive coordinator for that team.
That's crazy.
So I actually got to spend time with him a couple of days ago. So he's a good guy. We got to talk about the Spurs and then talk about the Hornets, and then we're talking about the Pelicans. So he's excited. So I'm excited to see what he can do for this offense. Because
can't be any worse than it was last year.
It cannot be. And so, what are your thoughts so far on Griffin this offseason? Because you talked about we talk about this all the time. You said top to bottom changes.
That's what he said, and I'm just, what I'm saying. Listen, if you go on record, you make a statement about what you want to do or what you're leaning towards. As people in the media, we gotta hold you accountable to that. And he has made some really tough decisions this offseason. And I'll give Griff this. If Griff makes a decision and he does not like said decision, he will quickly rectify that decision. So you gotta give hats off to him on that. Obviously, he saw something in Teaspoon that he I don't know, something wasn't working. He wanted to give Willie his own shot. Maybe Willie has somebody he wants to bring it into that role. And so now Willie has Collins, Borrego, and I guess this unnamed person who probably will fill Teaspoon's spot.
We have Vincent. Casey been he's been demoted.
From what I hear, he's demoted.
We
Still
think
on the staff. In
still
what
on staff.
capacity? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He's definitely. Here's the thing: the
Which
reason why
is
he's demoted. The
confusing.
reason why he's demoted is because he's not the offensive coordinator anymore. Because that's what Borrego's here for.
But
So
what
he's
is
clearly demoted.
exactly?
It's a.
What is he?
I I don't know. He hasn't been fired. I can tell you that.
That's
So
weird.
it's interesting. I think another guy that we like is Corey Brewer. I'm glad that he's
Yeah,
staying as
bro.
well, and I
Yeah.
think that him and Willie have a good relationship. So that's a good. He's a player development guy, and then he's also really close with Trey and Zion. So I think that's a good guy to have on your staff.
I I like Brew. I think Brew does a lot. Brew has experience um as a one of the best college, being on one of the best college teams
Yeah.
of all time, being a solid role player in the NBA for a long time, 50-point game scorer. Just a guy who's gonna give maximum effort, play defense, hit open shots. I think Herb could learn a lot from just the role that Corey
Yeah.
Brewer played
Yeah.
in the NBA. That's something to look forward to. I think everybody on the staff, superstar or not, can look at Corey Brewer as a light to, lead you to being a better player.
Play the game the right way.
Play the game the right way. I'm curious to see what else Griffin's gonna do.
Well, I wanted to ask you this.
Yeah.
How do you think the players are going to react to the teaspoon firing? And like, did you think it was weird? I guess it's a 2-part question. One, did you think it was the right move that they brought in Zion to the facility to tell him that they were letting go of teaspoon? And two, how do you think the other players like Trey Murphy, Jose Alvarado, I think Najee might have been close with her, maybe even those guys. How do you think they're going to react, and will this affect them as well?
I think that being as though that was Zion's quote unquote right hand man, every time you talking to anybody at the facility, like he's working out with her, he's getting extra working with her. I think if that's a superstar of your team, it's probably the right move to explain to him your decision, and do it in a face to face way. It was a very mature, move. I feel like when you're doing an aspect, if Zion has any questions, if he has anything he wants to get off his chest, I think y'all are face to face. You don't have to communicate through the media. You don't have to communicate through agents or family. I'm talking to you as a man. You give me your spiel. I tell you why I did what I did, and we can talk about it. If you have any problems, we can kind of figure that out. As far as the other guys, I'm sure they do feel some sort of way, but at the end of the day, this is a business, and I think Griff is responsible for the whole of the organization, and he can't. Again, we don't know why the move was made, but it had to be something.
Can we look at a little bit of the timeline, right? So
Sure.
we know him and Zion and Nelson do not like each other. Okay. And so that created a rift. I'm not, who knows what the teaspoon situation. She obviously helped him out a lot during the year he broke his foot, but also like he just hasn't been available. And that's not Teaspoon's fault, but still, like I feel like they're getting out all the Stan Van Gundy people and like Alvin Gentry people and bringing in Willie's guys. I really feel like Willie has a lot of say in this, and that's usually not Griffin's way. Like it's usually, that's why Griffin wanted president of basketball operations to make all the decisions. I feel like now he's kind of working with Willie. Do you feel that as well? Because when he fired Stan Van Gundy, he kept the whole state, he kept everything the same. Nelson had his rift with Gentry, fired Gentry. Nelson has rift with Stan Van Gundy, fired Stan Van Gundy.
You can look at any relationship with president of the team. You can look at any relationship president of the team. Yo, listen.
It's a long night, brother. Hey, can we have Velvet Cat? By the way, we're recording this on Friday night. We are going to enjoy our Father's Day, so this is us enjoying it.
If you get your go to the Velvet Cactus, get the 32-ounce double.
Yo, the 32-ounce double's hitting you right now, huh?
It's crazy, man. But any front office person in power, whether that be a general manager, the president, if you don't have a good relationship with your coach, I don't see it working.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. And I don't know. I just feel like Griff is always a pleaser, and he had to do. I feel like now he's like, no, this is like a business. I'm gonna make decisions that's best for the organization. That's how I feel. I applaud him for it because guess what, man? He's got a fucking ridiculous decision to make in these next couple days. Like you're hearing the Zion rumors. Now you're hearing the Brandon rumors. The Charlotte allegedly offered Brandon. The Pelicans turned him down. Now it's up to the Hornets to reoffer the Pelicans. Is Zion going to go to Portland? Is he going to go to Charlotte? There are a lot of things happening here, Leo. Do you think that is this all just smoke and mirrors? And
I think it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors. I mean, especially because you got the Hornets kind of leaking. They leaking draft workout info. They leaking, what it would take for them to move up in the draft. Then the day you see that they don't want Zion, they want Brandon. Seems like a lot of this has been Charlotte's leaking information, and not so much on the Hornets side. I mean, good God, not so much on the Pelican side.
It's the Belicac.
Not so much on the Pelican side. Really haven't heard the Pelicans say anything. Like,
that's smart. Tell you what, and that's smart.
No, for sure. But if I'm Griff, I'm definitely listening to calls. Yo, look, I say this all the time. I don't have as a fan of the team. I'm a fan of the team. I don't have player loyalty. I don't. I'm sorry. Like I understand people's perspectives and stand accounts and all that other good shit. I'm not a like whatever is in the best interest of the team, I want the team to do.
What do you think is the best interest in the team?
I think the best interest of the team is if you can move down in the draft. I'm gonna be honest. I think Scoot is off the table. I don't know if you can get Scoot without moving Brandon to Zion, and I don't think that. I would love to have Scoot, but I don't. At this point, I'm not ready to get rid of Brandon or Zion. I think that you give them this year, and if all goes downhill, you can't blame it on the training staff. You can't blame it on Teaspoon. You can't blame it on Willie. You know what I'm saying? Like this is on you, right? And then after that, you got to make a decision. If it doesn't work this season, you look at Zion. He's got 4 more years after this one, and I think
I'm listening to Woj today. Like teams rarely trade out of the second or third picks of the NBA draft, and then also Zion's first year of his contract extension is starting now.
Right.
So why would you trade him then?
Either way,
but dude, like who else? Someone. It might have been Greenberg or Greeny might have brought it up and said, if Zion or maybe it's Windhorse. I'm sorry. If Zion gets hurt again, I mean his stock goes all the way down.
Who knows? Who bro, like I don't know. I feel like that's very hard to say because you can't tell me team. Yo,
I just gotta see him play, bro. It's so crazy we're saying this again. It really is. I just gotta see him play.
But see, that's why I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it
because you're just not expecting it. So if you're not expecting, okay, so then that's like if you're not expecting him to play, then trade him.
No. I'm expecting him to play. I have to expect him to play because what else are we doing this for, right? I gotta give him listen. This is year 5, first year of his max extension, right? Post rookie deal. I gotta give him the benefit of the doubt this year. After this year, for me, it's all cards off the table. I'm good. I know what needs to be done if this shit does not work. Because again, you can't blame it on Aaron
what if
Nelson.
It's too late? Because as Chaz and Schmidt have pointed out, this is, and I'm not advocating for Brandon to be traded. I'm just saying this is the best time to trade Brandon Ingram, and it's probably the safest bet to trade Zion Williamson, considering if he does get injured again, you are severely fucked. But if he goes off, it's like gambling. It's literally like poker. It's like blackjack. It's you don't know. It's a gamble. And so
you gotta put your parlays in on Zion.
So you're all in on Zion because there's a lot of people that are all out on Zion.
Man, listen. The last time I saw him play in Philly, he had 27 points. I think at the half.
We were gonna win that game too. We were on the way back.
Like it was no bro. Joel Embiid was not. He was getting out that man way on the way to the room. This big ass human being was just like, nah, I don't want no parts of that. Like, you gotta give him this year again. After this year, if it don't work, yo, like y'all
What
decide.
is if it don't work? Is that mean that he doesn't stay healthy, or does he have a bad year?
I
What
mean,
is
if he,
doesn't work?
it's no way
Or
he has a bad year. He can't have a bad year. The motherfucker will roll out his bed and give you 30. Like
and that's like
it's no way he can have a bad year. It's just a health thing. And if we're going into year 5 and you so listen, in prior off seasons, he was cleared before the season ended, right? Like the exit,
oh yeah, he just
he was
wasn't in
cleared.
shape.
He was in shape, right? All right. So for me,
He
it's a little
wasn't in
bit
shape.
different.
Yeah.
It was a little bit different heading into the season than because prior seasons he was hurt, he was rehabbing in the summer, so he probably couldn't do much to add to his game. This summer for me, it's kind of like, yo, he every time I see him, he looking slim and trim, he looking in shape, he looked like he ready to hoop. So for me, this summer is the summer to add to your game. Come back with something, come back with a little bit more in your bag, and just stay healthy because I know people don't like to hear the Joel Embiid shit, and I feel you. But let me take it to the Blake Griffin side of it. You not gonna be able to dunk on everybody for the rest of your life. It's just the way. Listen, an old guy told me one time, yo, you only got so many jumps in your knees. Your knees only got so many jumps. You don't know what that number is. It's better
Mm.
to add on to your game right now, right? That way you can extend your career in other ways. You can still be a devastating player on them, you know what I'm saying, in the paint without having to play above the rim. Because that's the thing. And the other thing too is all that weight on your knees. And,
Mhm.
and I'm not even really shitting on Zion because again, he looks like he's in shape. But the thing is just keeping it off throughout the entire process of the 82 game season. So I mean, and in that, and listen, this is the other thing. In Brandon, you got a guy. This is why I say it's hard to trade Brandon because you got a guy who is going to come in. Brandon working out right now. Yo,
That's the thing with Brandon.
I
Yeah.
remember we was in Vegas. I've never
Yep.
said this publicly. We was in Vegas, and we were
Uh-huh.
talking. We were talking to. I'm not gonna say anybody's name, but we were talking to somebody, and they were just kind of like, "Yo, I got a dip. Brandon wants to work out." It was 4 in the morning. Brandon wanted to shoot. He wanted to go through a shooting routine at 4 in the morning in Vegas. Yo, like it's hard to get rid of that guy, the dude who go come to work every day. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing. Life is not fair, but how do you penalize Brandon for being
Hmm.
the cornerstone of leading your team to the postseason 2 times in a row? You know what I'm saying? Like I understand the salary cap shit. I get all of that. But sometimes it's about chemistry and it's about like feel. So you say the guys don't like Zion. I know for damn sure they like Brandon.
Completely agree. I couldn't have said it any better. That's why I texted you in 5. I said like math. The math makes sense, right? The idea is to trade Brandon. It would be a smart
Mm-hmm.
business move. But I think of Brandon and what everything you said is. I know he busts. Like I see it every day. He's the last one in the gym every single day. I mean, he's in
Yep.
full sweat while everyone else is gone. Him and Trey Murphy are busting their ass after a 2-hour practice. And that's all you hear about him. He does love the game. The only knock on him is, I guess, his pain tolerance, right? And so I was talking with 5 the other day, and he makes a great point. It's like Brandon went through a near death experience with blood clots. Blood clots is
Absolutely.
not something to mess around with. And that is, I'm sure, what did he have it at, Lito? His age, what,
Shoulder.
21,
Yeah, yeah,
20,
yeah. Yeah, he
right?
was. Yeah,
He's a kid. He's,
yeah,
like at 20.
yeah.
Okay. And so I think that takes a toll on you mentally. Listen, from speaking of experience, I had a near life death experience at 18, had to have immediate heart surgery. And that plagued me for 10 years. I couldn't enjoy things. I had a lot of anxiety. There are a lot of normal things that would give me anxiety because I was always thinking about my heart. And so when Brandon gets hurt, he takes a little bit more time, is what I'm trying to get at, because he's trying to trust his body, listen to his body, take his time. And when Jared said that, I said, damn, that does make a lot of sense. Now, is that his only knock? If that's his only knock, could that be changed? I think so. I
I
think he
mean,
could play through it.
I mean, and again, I don't know if it's his pain tolerance. From what I heard,
But
he
that's the
didn't
only thing
trust.
everyone complains about is that's the only thing. No one complains about his play.
No. What I'm saying is, I don't know if it's necessarily his pain tolerance. I think he's in the position where he didn't trust Nelson either.
Right.
So, I mean,
I'm
I
just
don't.
saying he has his own team. He listens to himself. Like that's just,
I understand. As
and I
somebody who's
understand it.
also had a couple near death experiences, yo, like, listen, bro, like when you had the game, or when you've had the game almost taken away from you, you view it differently. I'm not in a rush to, not that I'm not in a rush to get back on the court, but I'm not trying to do additional harm to my body. You know, like, you listen to your body tells you how it feels. You listen to it. No other outside entity can tell you anything about your body. Like, I don't really, that's the reason why the whole time I was just saying, like, if Brandon's saying he hurt, bro, he hurt.
He's hurt. Like, and like I know it's a toe compared to a blood clot, but like still, like I just, I don't know. I thought it was an interesting point of view that Jared had that I never really thought about. I think even someone in the comments a couple of days ago said something about like blood clots and stuff like that, and like you just kind of forget about that because he never really talks about it, and no one really talks about it. Ever since it happened, right? That was his main thing. Like when we were trading for him, was the blood clot thing.
The crazy thing
Um,
is that man couldn't play basketball that whole summer and came in on fire.
that's why I'm like, man, I don't like. I think about, man, like Brandon's been through everything down here. I'm like,
You know
you
what
trade
Brandon
him, like,
is? You know what Brandon is? Brandon is the culture.
he's
Brandon,
not like, and he's not this like, you know, vocal guy. He keeps to himself. You never really hear from him. He just works his ass off, and like, kind of reminds me a little bit of Drew, like how
Brandon
Drew
is the
acted.
Brandon is the culture. Brandon is the culture. Brandon is the glue guy. You see him, yo, guys working out. They posted on their IG. First person who commented is Brandon. Brandon is the culture. Brandon is the guy you have to. He acquiesces
So then, how
himself.
could you trade that away?
That's what I'm saying.
And
That's
that's what I don't understand either. And like that's why I'm like, I don't think I could let him go. Now,
bro.
I don't know
I
what
don't
his
want
next
to.
contract looks like. I
I
don't want
don't.
to trade him
I don't want to see him go. I
because I'll tell
don't
you
want to
what,
see him
man.
go.
I know
25
that.
years old, bro. He 25.
Listen, I understand Zion's the better player. I like he just is. Okay, I don't know what to tell you, but like, man, I really like would miss Brandon if they traded him for Scoot. I really would, and I think that it would. I'm interested in like the message you send to everybody, right? To a guy that, came in here, worked his ass off after a near life death experience, has gone through, 3 coaches, 2 medical staffs, a million assistant coaches, all this drama. And you never hear a peep from him. You never hear a word from him, never hear him complain. He took some time to get back from a toe injury.
It's filthy. He just go come home. He just go come out and he go ball. And this year you go see him playing summer FIBA
Yeah.
basketball. You know what I'm saying? So, man, shout out to Brandon, because again, we did this show already, but to me that's showing you fully healthy. That's showing
Yeah.
you're not playing yourself into shape going into the season. That's showing you're not worrying about the
Yeah.
toe. None of that shit. None of the fingers, the wrists.
What do you think the message is sent if Brandon's traded?
Say that again.
What do you think the message, like, would if Brandon gets traded, right? What would your thoughts be? Like, what would I guess I'm saying, like,
Man,
how
to
do you
be
think the
honest,
players would react?
I
How do you
think
think the
you lose the
players
locker
would
room.
react?
Honestly, I think you lose the locker room. I think you lose the locker room. I've seen Brandon play big, bro. Brandon showed up to Jose Alvarado signing a contract with a fucking Polaroid camera. Like he was he was literally. I've never seen anybody do that before. Show up to somebody's contract signing with not only show up with something, just show up. People don't show up to that. Like, you sign that on your own time with the front office. I feel like feel like if you lose Brandon, you lose the locker room. I feel like it's a lot of weight
Hmm.
on Brandon's shoulders, but I think Brandon is like the big brother of everybody on the team. And you know, you've heard Trey Murphy say that Brandon is his idol, patterned his game after him, and they're not even that far apart in age. So, um, you know, I mean, I don't know. You know, Griff probably knows better than me, but I don't know how you do it. I just don't know how you
I
do it.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. I think if they trade him, they're gonna lose the locker room because I'm still having a hard time thinking like if they really lose Brandon for Scoot, like I've told like I would be fucking pissed. I really would, and I know it make. Listen, I've read the Schmidt articles. He does a great job. I've read and listened to Chaz, and he does a good job. And like I get it, I do, but I can't get over the fact that you would basically be choosing Zion over Brandon, in which Zion has not proved a single thing since being here. Like it's just a fact. He's played what 104 games, 105 games in 4 years. And then you look at Brandon, you're like, I'm shipping that guy out, and he's about to represent our franchise, our city on the international stage. And he's been busting his ass and usually says all the right things. Like
Yeah,
that's tough. That's a tough pill for me to swallow. It
yeah,
really
man.
is.
It's not for me. It's not ideal, and I really feel like as much as I want Scoop, I don't know if I could lose. I can't lose Brandon.
I mean, you heard JJ Redick, man. I mean, this is JJ Redick. He played with him 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Said he's entering his prime. There's no doubt he's committed to the game.
I don't even think he entering his prime yet.
I mean, fuck.
I mean, I'm JJ would know more about professional sports than I. I don't. I just don't feel like he's entering his prime.
Which is crazy.
I feel like 27, 28. I think that's his sweet spot of his prime.
And then the relationship that he and Willie have, like we talked about this, Lito, but like it's not like they were just randomly in Denver, like, hey, you want to go Game 5 tonight? No, they planned that.
I love
All three
that.
of them did.
I love that.
That's another thing. Him and Herb are close too. So like, I don't know, man. I think it's a bad move. I really do think it's a bad move to trade Brandon for Scoot.
So you trade Zion?
No. That's what's fucking crazy. I wouldn't trade either of them because you know what? I gotta see Zion, and I know he doesn't play. Blah, blah. I know, but fuck, when he plays, he's so good, and he's a winning player. And I know him and Brandon can work. Now, would I like to see the roster a little bit fine tuned? Yes, I need a shooter. The guy's name is Jordan Hawkins. I might need a defensive center and or maybe a stretch big. That would be kind of nice, but also like kind of like JV. But the bench has to be restored. And this is not a knock at Najee or Dyson or Kyra. Well, this is definitely a knock on Garrett Temple. We can't be wasting roster. We cannot be wasting roster spots. We need NBA players. Jose Alvarado will be the backup point guard. That's fine.
Retire.
You just call time. I was doing so good, and then I just saw you just signal a timeout.
It's the Jimmy Butler.
So, whenever you told him to wear a suit in the middle of the year, they got to get a shooter, man. They got to.
You got four roster spots. You got to get.
Listen, it sucks. You got to get rid of Kyra. You got to get rid of Temple. You got to get rid of Jackson. You got to get rid of Billy Hernangomez. I actually would keep Najee Marshall, and then you got to fill it with guys that can guard multiple positions and then that can shoot.
I got some bad news for you. Jackson Hayes is coming back. If Najee is the 13th man on a roster, I feel I'd be okay.
Najee's a perfect regular season player. He's the guy like on a back-to-back, and it's like Tuesday, Wednesday, middle of the week. Like he'll come in and give you like 20 minutes, like very productive minutes because he's just full of energy.
I'm not trying to shit on Najee. Plays hard. He gives his all.
You need those type of guys.
He plays defense. He comes in. He makes a pass from half court and he celebrates at half court. Like I like his energy. I have nothing bad to say about Najee Marshall. I just feel like I think sometimes we put him in positions where
oh yeah
wasn't his best to succeed. You know, like We didn't give him everything he could have used to succeed, and that's not fair.
Did you just hiccup?
Damn, man, this fucking margaritas. Velvet Cactus, to 32-ounce double. Yo, we got to get them as a sponsor now.
What flavor? I like that.
It's just regular, man. Just regular.
You get a little salt in the rim or no? Obviously not. You have the lid on.
Yeah. If I was drinking it there, I get a little salt. Don't do sugar though.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. Man, it looks really good. I like Jordan Hawkins out of Connecticut. Made another tweet today.
It's Ray Allen.
Do you worry? Schmidt actually had a good question. Do you worry about his defensive ability?
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm indifferent with it.
I am. I worry about the Pelicans aren't a great defensive team. You don't have interior help really. Herb is the eraser of a lot of things. Herb can't guard everybody though. I'm gonna say this. I'm a little bit less concerned because I just saw the Denver Nuggets win the NBA championship. So I really kind of am at this point in my life feeling like defense is a lie. And I think that they
schemes. You're hitting my point,
bro. They played I saw Denver play defense in spurts. They locked in spurts. They stepped up in spurts. Bro, the glue guys, man. Bruce Brown is important. Like he's a guy. Hold on, I'm tired of people shitting on Bruce Brown. This dude's a 5-star athlete coming out of high school. Like Bruce Brown is nothing to sneeze at. He was the man in Miami. Like this is not a guy who is like lucky to be in the NBA. Bruce Brown is a hooper. But to answer your question a little bit, but not much. Not really.
Man. Damn. I think about the Heat. I was talking to some guy today on Twitter, and he's like, well, Jordan Hawkins will just turn into Duncan Robinson. And I'm like, guys.
No, shut up. No.
I'm like, guys. No. I'm like, Duncan Robinson didn't carry that team, was a major contributor on a finals team. He shot 44% in the postseason because Spoelstra and the Heat made it a point that when he was in the game, we were going to scheme it to where we put him either in the corner. He gave me like weak side help. He's not on the ball a lot, or we'll go zone. All he has to do is box out and get rebounds. That's what coaching can do, putting players in the right position. Because guess what? When that dude was on the offensive end, everyone had to know where 55 was. Because that dude can shoot the shit out the ball. That's what Jordan Hawkins can do. Am I saying Jordan Hawkins is Duncan Robinson? No. But what I'm saying is that he has a skill set in which this team needs in shooting. And I know a lot of people are like, don't draft needs, don't draft specialized, but you got to win regular season games to get to the playoffs. You need offense in the regular season. The postseason is all about defense and adjustments and schemes. The regular season is all about offense. How many games in the postseason leader do the team score 130 points, 125, 130 points? Probably not a lot. In the regular season, you see it nightly.
Yeah.
120s, high 110s. You didn't really see that in the postseason. It's all about schemes and defenses.
Listen, Jordan Hart, let me look at the difference a year can make for a basketball player. Jordan Hawkins 21 season going into the 22 season, he got 14 minutes a game and he put up 5 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The very next season, he gets 29 minutes. He's averaging 16. He shot 38 from 3. He increased rebounding. He increased assists. He went up in block steals. Like, he's 21 years old.
He played 2 years at UConn or 3?
2.
I'll tell you what, man, that postseason run by him was special, man. Every
12,
time they needed a bucket.
24, 20, 13, 16.
16 in the national championship game.
16 in the
And he hit the dagger, too. Coming off a double staggered screen.
50%
Borrego would make him. I mean, it's hard to teach, Lito. With a lot of people, it's easy to catch and shoot. It's hard to run around, catch movement, shoot.
And he do that already.
And he does that at an elite level.
He did that already. He got that. He coming to the NBA with that.
So that's why I'm like, I hate, like, I don't like when people are like, well, defensively, he's not that good. Who fucking cares?
I don't care about defense anymore.
You got to outscore him. Like you got to win regular season games or you get to the postseason.
I changed my whole philosophy. The Denver Nuggets have made me change my whole philosophy defensively. I do not care about offense. I mean defense. Stop me. Stop me from scoring.
Because like Duncan Robinson played major minutes and he was unplayable in the regular season.
Let me say this though about him. He gives supreme effort defensively. He doesn't have the tools. He doesn't have the size.
Have any talent to give extreme effort. You need none.
He gives extreme effort. He doesn't have the talent, doesn't have the size, but he fights. I seen Duncan fight. So, shout out to him. That's literally Jordan Hawkins at 6'5", 195. If he just gives effort, he'll be fine.
That's all I'm saying. Someone said Derek Lively. I
think Derek Lively is an interesting prospect, but I don't. Prospect. Yo, listen. Making again, I'm gonna keep saying this. I know they open shots in the gym, but making 20 straight threes is nothing.
Lito, come on, you're too smart for this, man. I mean, Jackson Hayes did the same thing too.
I've never seen him make 20. I've never seen Jackson Hayes make 20. Never seen it. Never seen Jackson Hayes make 20 in a practice. Never seen him make 20 in a workout. I don't even see Jackson Hayes shooting threes in workouts. I'm just saying, like. Derek Lively is better than him right now.
Jackson Hayes is gonna be a monster in like 5 years. You know that, right?
Yeah, do you understand gonna be playing that? For the
No,
he's
not
gonna do that. He's gonna be playing probably for the Knicks or some shit like that.
He's gonna figure it out. I just know it.
I don't doubt that. I don't think that he had the room to figure it out here.
God, that was a horrific, bro. That might be a horrific draft class for Zion or for Griffin, if you think about it. Zion, Nah, and Jax.
But Nah has quietly turned into.
Oh, I don't care what he's done after. Hold up. That does not matter to me. What matters is what did Nah do when he was drafted in here? And what did Jackson Hayes do when he was drafted in here? And what did Zion Williamson do when he was drafted?
He tried.
Who tried?
No tried. No tried. No, that's awesome. Flashes. He had flashes.
He had a 30-point game. We thought he was. We thought that was it.
He was giving it to Paul George that game too.
Didn't he drop another 30 burger on the Clippers?
Yeah.
Twice? Yeah, twice, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Nah figured it out on another team, which seems to be a problem.
Effort. He gave effort.
I think he always gave effort though.
Yeah, he did.
He always gave effort here. He was just not a great decision maker.
No, he made things very difficult for himself.
I thought we put a lot of pressure on him too. Like, hey, you got to be this guy.
Yeah, we did for sure. Yeah, he. I don't know. All I know is you saying all that about none, but Jackson Hayes ain't.
What? Jackson Hayes what?
Jackson Hayes is first of all, he's gonna be on the Pelicans next year, this season.
People are gonna flip. It's gonna be hilarious. People are gonna flip.
I don't know why. I mean, he's probably gonna come back for a reasonable amount of money. I don't know.
Yo, I just need some news to break, man.
I don't have a lot of faith there.
You got anything else?
Velvet Cactus.
Happy Father's Day.
Nah, I don't got nothing else. I look forward to seeing Zion Williamson play basketball. I look forward to Brandon being the most valuable player in FIBA basketball, bringing that into the league. I mean, bringing it to the NBA season. And
most valuable player in FIBA, you calling it?
I mean, why not, man? Why not? If he healthy, you know what I'm saying? The last time I saw Brandon play, in the last 30 games, it was a different Brandon Ingram. So I would like to see him add on to that, and just the competitive practices that they're probably having. You know, again, we talked about this, but learning from Spo, learning from Bill Self, learning from I forgot the other
Mark Few,
and
Spo, and then Kerr.
You know, Still sharp as steel. Him going against Ant.
You did it again. It's iron sharpens.
No, it's still sharp as steel. You confused me last time.
No, it's iron sharpens iron. It's
Google
got
it.
to be that. What?
Google it.
I'm about to Google it. It's not steel.
I think it's steel.
Iron sharpens. Yeah, iron sharpens iron, meaning.
And I
Where
Googled
did you hear
steel, sharp as steel.
iron sharpen iron from a practical standpoint means there is a tremendous benefit to rubbing blades together, forging, making the edges sharper and efficient.
Justin, Proverbs 27:17. You use steel to sharpen steel, and one friend sharpens.
No,
God,
it's iron sharpens
bro,
iron.
God gave you the word in the Bible. You're telling me that this is it's in the Bible. I'm right. I'm sorry.
Hey, I gotta know this. Like, drop it in the comments if y'all get this far in the video. Make sure y'all, is it iron sharpens iron or is it steel sharpens steel? I've never heard of steel sharpens steel.
You've never heard steel sharp as steel?
As iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. Present strengths it. Strength.
Now we gotta go through the integrity of iron and steel. What's the difference? Never mind.
I don't. Either way, the phrase "iron sharpens iron" from Proverbs 27:17 highlights an important truth. Iron sharpens iron.
That's Brandon.
This thing got out of control. Shout out Velvet Cactus. Midway Pizza had Z's pizza yesterday. It was actually pretty good.
I'm sorry, Midway Pizza.
Like, comment, subscribe. I think it's iron sharpens iron. We'll see y'all. We are going live from the Rusty Nail Thursday night. And then we'll probably have a podcast previewing the NBA draft around Tuesday or Wednesday. Schmitz came out with an awesome
Substack
video and Substack video on the latest on Scoot Henderson's rumors. And make sure you check out everything else. By the way, we've already congratulated about the juvenile thing, Lito, but another incredible article by you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
That was absolutely fantastic.
Found on Boo Crew's website. So
yeah, just retweet it again. So shout out to you, man. Happy Father's Day. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see y'all soon.